Welcome to our channel. Today we will talk about notorious Brazilian serial killer Pedro Rodrigues Filho. Click the like button to see more content like this. Pedro Rodrigues Filho was born in Brazil and had a deformation on his skull as a result of his father kicking his pregnant mother's stomach during a fight. This would affect his mental health. Rodrigues said that the urge to murder came to him for the first time when he was 13. In the following years, his desire to kill would decrease and force him to take the lives of more than 100 people. He committed his first murder when he was 14. He shot and killed the deputy mayor in front of the city hall for dismissing his father from a job. His father was accused of theft and was expelled from the school where he worked. He later found the real thief and caused his death. After these two murders, Rodrigues ran away, changed the city he lived in, started killing drug dealers in this city, and soon met a woman named Maria. They started living together. Rodrigues took over the task of the dead salesman and soon took the lives of 3 people to eliminate some competitors. Maria was helping him. Later, his competitors captured Maria and killed her. Rodrigues fled again. He recruited more men and continued his illegal actions somewhere else. Later, he tortured and killed several people while trying to find out who was responsible for the murder of his pregnant girlfriend and the unborn child. Those responsible were none other than his rivals. Soon there would be a wedding. Rodrigues and his team visited that wedding. They killed 7 people and injured 16 others in the wedding. Rodrigues was not even 18 years old when he committed all these crimes. He was first arrested on May 24, 1973, and spent most of his adult years in prison. According to police records, one day, during a prison transfer, he killed the other criminal in the transfer vehicle. He did this while he was handcuffed. Rodrigues took responsibility for his crime and claimed that the friend of the person he killed was the murderer. A few years later, something horrible happened to Rodrigues. His father killed his mother with a machete. A father was caught immediately and was imprisoned in the same prison as his son.
Meu pai matou minha mãe por quê? Eu matei na cadeia, não foi na rua, tava preso já. Eu fiquei 42 anos preso, com o gemado, aí eu jurei vingança no caixão da minha mãe.
This drove Rodrigues crazy, and he killed his father in the central courtyard. In a later interview, he even said that he tore and bit his father's heart and even ate part of it. Although he was sentenced to 126 years in prison in 2003, he would be released. According to Brazilian law, no one could stay in prison for more than 30 years, but this law was going to be changed. His prison term increased from 128 years to 400 years. Rodrigues was diagnosed to be a psychopath who needed treatment. The authorities could keep him in a clinic for the rest of his life if they wanted to. The judges decided that he should not be released in 2003, and his sentence would be extended until 2017. While Rodrigues was in prison, he met a woman whose name he did not want to reveal. She was also a thief. They had a love affair through mail correspondence. After her release from prison, she visited Rodrigues in prison. Rodrigues was able to survive in the dangerous prison where many inmates were killed on their first day. He killed and injured dozens of inmates in order to survive. He once was attacked by 5 inmates who intended to kill him. He killed 3 of them. The other 2 got scared and ran away. He also killed 2 inmates in his cell just because he didn't like their face. While he was in prison, he got a tattoo on his left arm that read, "I kill for pleasure." After he got out of the prison, he covered the tattoo with a larger one. Rodrigues was diagnosed as a psychopath who was unrepentant and selfless. However, psychopaths do not develop love, but we can describe him as a sociopath because he wanted to avenge the deaths of his mother and his ex-girlfriend. Psychiatrists conducted an analysis about him in 1982. They identified him as a paranoid and antisocial character. They stated that his only motivation in life was violence. We want to tell more about his killing methods. He would find his victims' address in the address books and kill them with a knife or sharp objects. He kidnapped some of his victims and kept them hostage. These crimes were not calculated but rather committed with anger and hatred. After serving 34 years in prison, Rodrigues was released on April 24, 2007, and moved away from where he lived before. He was trying to start a new life. He started work as a Coast Guard officer. On September 15, 2011, Rodrigues was arrested again at his home due to unsolved crimes that he wanted to finish after his release. There were also cases involving some of the people he killed in prison, and various other crimes. According to Brazilian criminal law, 30 years is the maximum prison term for any criminal. However, a decree signed by the then president allowed registered psychopaths to be kept in psychiatric institutions indefinitely. Rodrigues was imprisoned again for more crimes that he committed. He was released in 2018. According to some reports, he opened a YouTube channel where he talked about his crimes, but we couldn't find this channel, probably because it has been shut down. Rodrigues killed more than 100 of people. Even though some people perceived him to be a justice warrior, he committed the murders to raise his status and authority. It is believed that Rodrigues was behind most unresolved crimes during those years. He was perceived as a hero by some people, while others have called him a notorious serial killer.